Hello, this is Justice Backstrom, and welcome back to God, Guns, Gaming, and the Grand Old Party. Now, sometime, I believe it was last year actually, I made a video explaining some of my main points as to why you should vote for Trump. And now that Trump has a specific opponent, and what an opponent he is, I figured I'd revisit the topic and make a video specifically contrasting Trump with Beau Biden. I'll go through the basics of their policies, their records, and finally their mental states. I personally don't make as big a deal as most people would do about Vice President Beau Biden's mental state as a lot of people do. I make as big a point as a lot of people do, but it is a legitimate issue that needs to be addressed. Now, as to their policies, Biden is essentially a puppet of the DNC and the Democratic establishment, so his policies would naturally be the same. Biden supports infringing the people's right to keep and bear arms. He has stated this numerous times. This is unconstitutional. Trump has vowed to uphold the Second Amendment. I really feel I don't need to elaborate on which one holds the better view on this. Democrats love abortion, late term, mid-term, pre-trib, post-trib, and so on and so forth. Trump, in his 2016 campaign, stated that in all likelihood his Supreme Court justice picks would ultimately reverse Roe v. Wade. Because of Roe v. Wade, millions of innocent unborn children have been murdered and sacrificed on the altar of convenience. No nation that murders its children will withstand God's judgment. I would also like to address Trump's deregulation and its effects on the economy and the environment. Millions of jobs and hundreds of factories have moved back to America as a result of Trump's deregulation. If they moved back because of deregulation, it would follow that they left in the first place because of the regulations, and if they left because of the regulations, it would follow they did not follow said regulations in whatever countries they moved to. Thus, it would follow that Trump's deregulation had minimal, if any, negative effects on the environment. As a conservative, I believe in protecting and saving the environment, but I do not think it is the government's place to tell the people when and how to do so. Now, immigration policy. I believe I already enumerated my own immigration policy in my last God, Guns, Gaming, GOP video, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. Biden has moved with the radical left to support the complete elimination of our border enforcement, and a nation without borders isn't really a nation at all, is it? I believe Trump is right to enforce immigration laws and customs to favor legal immigrants over illegal immigrants, and to favor those who love America and hold American values over those who do not. Now on to their records. Trump has passed historic tax cuts that not only benefited the rich, who were taxed far more than their fair share, but also cut taxes down to virtually everyone. Even I, with my puny $40 a week job, saw a tax cut, and I was hardly paying anything in the first place. Trump, as previously discussed, tremendously deregulated business at home and abroad, and has overseen the highest Dow Jones report in history, the lowest unemployment numbers most people have seen in their lifetimes, and the fastest V-shaped recovery I could have imagined despite a global pandemic. This all because he's a businessman who knows how businesses work. Beau Biden, on the other hand, supported the most unconstitutional gun control bill ever passed, which saw zero of its intended effects, authored the 1984 crime bill, another one of the worst pieces of legislation ever passed, and was vice president to perhaps the worst president in history, whose foreign policy of appeasement cost us billions of dollars, and whose health care plan broke nearly every, if not every, promise it made. Not to mention he quite possibly abused government funds to bribe the Ukrainian government to fire an investigator who, at the time, was investigating his son Hunter. And now what you've all been waiting for the mental state and whatnot comparison. Now, I have worked 4 years in a retirement, and specifically an active senior living facility in a retirement home. And specifically, it's an active senior living facility. In my time there, I have never seen one of the residents, many of whom are still in their 60s, that has the mental clarity and the energy and the gusto that I see in Trump. Now remember, this is active senior living. On the other hand, I have seldom found any of them to be as mentally out of it and as lost as Joe Biden. Even the ones with severe Alzheimer's were barely any worse than him. Now, people get turned off by Trump being rough around the edges, but Biden is so much more so. And not even just as a result of his aging. You've probably all seen him calling people fat or lying dog-faced pony soldiers or telling potential voters they're full of shit. But even back 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago, he was insulting people's IQs or fitness or whatever. And not in the trolling, humorous way that Trump does. He'd do it with actual rudeness and malice. Now, I'm barely scratching the surface with the points I presented in this video, and I would definitely encourage you to watch other people's videos on the matter, as well as, and I don't generally do this, but I'd encourage you to watch some of my other policy and principle videos if you're not sure where you stand on certain issues. With that all being said, I do want to let you all know that I'll be streaming the election results, at least in my Discord server if I can't do so on YouTube, so I would ask you to check out the second link in the description below, to get to my Discord server, and I'll thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.